Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? Hope all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIEBS Home School. This is Shahjadi Akter, Assistant Teacher of Science of National Ideal English Version School Test. Today I am going to take a science class for class 8 students. My dear students, our today's topic is Chapter 3 Discussion Part 1. Our today's lecture number 7 and SW number also 7. Now we'll start our class. This is Chapter 3 Diffusion, Osmosis and Transpiration. My dear students, now we are going to start our class. The roots of plants absorb water and minerals from the soil. These substances are transported up the stem to the leaves, where it evaporates from the surface. Intake of carbon dioxide, release of oxygen gas, absorption of water and minerals, and transport of these substances to the roots and leaves, and evaporation of water occurs through diffusion, osmosis, absorption, transportation and transpiration processes. Now I will discuss about this. First of all, we will discuss about diffusion. We know matters are made up of small molecules, and these molecules are always in motion. In this case, of liquids and gas, the motion of these molecules are very fast and show tendency to diffuse towards the regions with lower concentration from higher ones. This movement of molecules continues as long as the concentration of two regions becomes equal. Diffusion stops at once when the concentration of molecules becomes equal in two regions, and this type of movement of molecules is called diffusion. My dear students, now we can write this definition of diffusion like this: the tendency of solid, liquid or gas to spread spontaneously and uniformly in any medium is called diffusion. In diffusion process, solid, liquid or gas moves spontaneously from a place of higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, my dear students, now go to next page. See, due to kinetic energy of molecule, a potential pressure is exerted, and consequently the movement of molecules of solution or gases from one region of higher concentration of that of a lower one occurs. This type of pressure is called diffusion pressure, and we can understand the meaning of diffusion through some experiments. Depending on experimental knowledge and discussion, practical knowledge on diffusion can be gathered. A few experiments on diffusion are discussed below. We can see many examples of diffusion in our surroundings. For example, the smell of scent, atho, or burning incense spread all around the room. It happens due to diffusion. High density of atom from incense and scent spread in low density of atoms around the rooms. As a result, the whole room becomes scented. My dear students, now we will discuss about the importance of diffusion, and this is also very important question. Diffusion takes place in every physiological processes of the organism. During photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen as byproducts. And diffusion makes this essential task possible. Living cells use oxygen for the oxidation of glucose. Oxygen enters into the cells through diffusion, and the release of carbon dioxide also occurs in the same way. The loss of water in the form of water vapor through transpiration is the result of diffusion. In case of animal respiration, exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide carrying food, oxygen etc. from blood to lymph and from lymph to cells occur through diffusion. So my dear students, I hope all of you have understood the importance of diffusion. Now come to osmosis. To understand the process of osmosis, we need to know the characteristics of the membrane separating two differently concentrated solutions. Membrane are of three types. For example, impermeable membrane, permeable membrane and semi-permeable membrane. My dear students, underline this one. Membranes may be of three types: impermeable membrane, permeable membrane and semi-permeable membrane. Now we will discuss about the impermeable membrane. The membrane through which molecules of both solute and solvent cannot pass. These are called impermeable membrane. For example, polythene cell wall made up of Q-tip. And permeable membrane, the membrane through which molecule of both solute and solvent can pass easily. These are called permeable membrane. For example, cell wall. And semi-permeable membrane, the membrane through which only the solvent molecules, that is water can pass, and but not solute. These membrane are called semi-permeable membrane. For example, cell membrane inside the eggshell, membrane of fish, pot, etc. are the examples of semi-permeable membrane. So, my dear students, now the examples of osmosis, we see that if a rising or dried grape, that is kismis, is kept on underwater for some times, it swells up, and it happens because dry grapes absorb water, and the absorption of water occurs through osmosis. So, osmosis is one kind of diffusion. Osmosis occurs only in case of liquid, and semi-permeable membrane keeps the two liquids separates. Okay, for our understanding, the example of dry grape is cited here. Now we know when two differently concentrated solutions are kept together, diffusion occurs naturally. Look, the raisins or dry grapes have shrunk because the water inside them is dried up. Now, if dry grapes are kept in water, the water molecule diffuse into the dry grapes as the concentrated sucrose solution inside dry grapes are separated from water by a membrane. Consequently, only the water molecules enter into dry grape through the membrane, whereas sucrose molecules don't enter, molecule does not. So, this type of membrane is known as semi-permeable membrane. So, the membrane through which only solvent molecule can pass but not the solute molecule is called semi-permeable membrane, and the process is known as osmosis. So, my dear students, this is the definition of osmosis. If two differently concentrated solutions of same solvent is kept separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the solvent from the dilute solution diffuse through the semi-permeable membrane into the high concentrated solution, and this process is called the osmosis. My dear students, here given a picture, see, this is light solution and this is concentrated solution, and these two solutions are and in the middle, this is the semi-permeable membrane. So, after some time, we can see that the this light solution will go through to the concentrated solution, and this is only possible for semi-permeable membrane, and this process is called osmosis. My dear students, now go to next page, the importance of osmosis. The cell membrane or plasma membrane of the living organism acts as semi-permeable membrane. Mineral salts dissolves in water enter into and pass out from the cell through plasma membrane. Intracellular water and mineral salt solution together is called cell shape or simply cell. So, osmosis plays an important role in maintaining different physiological process of the cell, and by this process plants absorb water and mineral dissolves in water from soil through unicellular root hair. Due to osmosis, turgidity of the cell is increased, that keeps stem and leaf fresh and straight. Also, plants can open and close its petals, and in the intestine of the animals digested food may be absorbed. My dear students, learn properly the importance of osmosis. Now go to next topic, absorption of water and mineral salts. Mechanism of water absorption in plants. The process by which living cells of the plant body intake water and mineral salt dissolved water is generally known as absorption. My dear students, this is the definition of absorption, and underline this one. This is the definition of absorption. Okay. So, the process by which living cells of plant body intake water and mineral salts dissolve water is generally known as absorption. Terrestrial plants, that is grow on the land. Terrestrial plants means that plants grow on the land. Terrestrial plants absorb water from soil through root hair, and submerged plants absorb water through their whole body. So, the root hair of the terrestrial plants intake capillary water of the soil particles through osmosis. My dear students, see the figure. Here given the picture of root, and this is root hair region, this is root hair region, this is called root hair, and this is the root growth region, and this is root cap. Here given the capillary water. See, this is the under the soil, and this is capillary water in the soil. This is soil particle. This is open space, and this is root here. Okay. So my dear students, the terrestrial plants absorb water from soil through their root hair, and submerged plants, that plants grow in water, they absorb water through their whole body, and root hair of terrestrial plants intake capillary water from soil particle through osmosis, and the wall of root hair is permeable. So first it absorbs water through imbibition, and the absorbed water comes in contact with semi-permeable plasma membrane below the cell wall. The concentration of the central solution of the root hair is higher than that of its environment, and thus water enter into the cell through endosmosis. The concentration of cell shape from outer membrane of the center of the root cell is not equal. Consequently, due to the intercellular osmosis, water flows from one cell to another and finally reaches the leaves through xylem vessels of the stem. My dear students, now come to imbibition. We will learn the definition of imbibition now. Most of the colloidal substances are hydrophilic. Most of the colloidal substances are hydrophilic, and plant's body contains various colloidal substances such as starch, cellulose, gelatin, etc. My dear students, this is also important MCQ, and these substances can absorb water because of their colloidal nature. My dear students, underline this one. This is very important MCQ. The colloidal substances are starch, cellulose, and gelatin, and these substances can absorb water because of their colloidal nature, and the process by which colloidal substances absorb different liquid is called imbibition. So my dear students, this is also very important knowledge based question. What is imbibition? My dear students, your today's SW number is 7, and you have to make 5 knowledge based question from the above discussion, above topic. Okay, you have to make 5 knowledge based question from your above topic and submit it on Saturday. My dear students, I hope all of you have understood our today's topic properly, learn properly all knowledge based question from this topic, and submit SW regularly. See you again in the next class. Allah Hafiz.